Welcome everyone to our Thursday night chat tonight. So this is a special edition of our community Zoom chat, usually on a Tuesday night, tonight on a Thursday night, for two reasons. I am Bollywood dancing at the moment, would you believe, on a Tuesday night. So I've got a special gig, one-off. It's a one-off coming up on the 1st of June. So I need my Tuesday nights for practicing. But also Claire, we lined this up before the expo to have Claire on tonight to share with us all about kids in business. So welcome, Claire.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So at the expo, if anyone was there, you would have noticed a lot of kids with their market stalls, and Claire is the brainchild behind Kidpreneur. She is running kids classes, not only in how to start a business, but also in science classes. Claire is the president of her local Chamber of Commerce. She is up to all kinds of projects, which we're going to hear a lot about shortly. But to start us off, Claire, you run the Kidpreneur and have the kids going from all the way from conception of their business to markets, right? So they're out there with their wares and selling them on a weekly basis. So tell us about that, about how you have got that happening.
Okay, so basically, I've always run my own businesses, and then I stopped when I had my children. And then my son was about 7, and he said to me, "Mum, I want to start my own business." And I said, "That's a great idea, but you really need to know everything about business. You can't just start a business." And he said, "Okay, will you teach me?" I said, "Well, how about we see if anyone else wants to learn within the homeschooling community, if they want to learn how to run their own businesses." So I just put it out there, and I had an amazing response. I said, "Look, I'll run a class for 12 children." So I ran a class of 12 children, and I spoke to my local Chamber of Commerce that I was the events coordinator at the time, and they said that I could use the Hornsby RSL boardroom so that it would feel very much, the children would feel quite special being in a boardroom. And it went so well that I then had an influx of children that wanted to start their own businesses. I basically started an 8-week course where I said that I'm going to teach you about money, I'm going to teach you about financial literacy, I'm going to teach you how to write a business plan, a marketing plan, and how to market that business. And we'll get through to the end where you're running your own market stall. And all of the children in the class then started their own businesses. And I thought, well, now the next step is to get them into a market stall. So I spoke to our local Pennant Hills marketplace. I told them that I had been running these Kidpreneur classes, and they were really excited. So they invited me to have a chat with them. They said they loved the idea, that they were not for profit, and that I could run them at Pennant Hills marketplace in their community space for free. So there's no charge to myself or the children. They could literally just sell and make the money from their products. And that has become so successful that we're now in there weekly. I have lots of children on wait lists waiting to get into these classes, because trying to facilitate so many children, not just that are homeschooled, but now for children that are in schools. I'm also running the Kidpreneur program in Borkham Hills Girl Guides, where my daughter goes. They really want this program for them there. So it's basically facilitating that and teaching these children going forward that they're not just starting their own business. It's about the mentoring that they need going forward. And my role now as president of the Chamber of Commerce is that I'm starting a junior Chamber of Commerce so that those in business can mentor these children, take them under their wing, teach them the pitfalls and guide them. Because I don't just want them to start their own businesses, I want them to have that continued guidance from someone that has started their own businesses.
That's amazing. So before I ask you about the mentoring program, tell us about the kinds of businesses that the kids have started.
So we've got Gracelets, and she's 11. She was 10 when she started the program. So she designs her own bracelets. Her little sister is a few years younger, and she started her own bookmarks. We then have Joseph, and his mum has been very, very involved. She has one of those cry cut machines. And so they're making customized T-shirts, pencil cases, mugs, and they're called Graceful Gifts. And they now have a Facebook page. All of them have Facebook pages now. They're just about to start their own websites. And we have Jackie and Phoebe. They have just started their own beeswax candles. And they put roses on their beeswax candles and do different designs. My daughter started beeswax wraps, so she makes her own beeswax wraps and sells those. My son also runs his own pasta making business and pizza dough, and he is called Jacob's Fresh Produce, so everything that's fresh. We also have another family, and they're all in baked goods, so they make brownies and cookies. And then we have ILC, Ian, Lucas and Kaya, and they make their own kimchi, I'm saying it right, and biscuits. And he wants to start his own comic books, so the idea is to fund enough money so that he can actually start developing his own comic books. And I'm helping him with that because I'm actually starting a newsletter through the Chamber of Commerce, and I want to have it's going to be a quarterly publication, and I want to have a page or a couple of pages in there dedicated to the children that are starting their own businesses. It will be a free publication for them, and it will be sponsored and advertised through the various businesses within Hornsby as well.
Wow, such a variety. Isn't it great that they've come up with such different ideas, and they're not really overlapping, and they're not competing one with another. So
No.
It's so difficult actually for adults to start businesses. So how do you guide the kids, and what are the pitfalls that usually come up when you're getting a business going?
Well, the main thing is that they say that they're scared about failure. And I said, there is no such thing as failure. It's just that idea did not work. I've had businesses where I've gone, we completely have to scrap that and go in a different direction. And I said, it's about diversification. If one idea doesn't work and you've really tried, then it's about trying something different. I said, most of the entrepreneurs and the top entrepreneurs have failed. They've become bankrupt, but they've learned so much through that process. So it's about teaching them that there's no such thing as failure. A failure is just an idea that doesn't work, and to give them that confidence. And really at the markets, it's really given them that confidence to try to talk to people. If I see them hiding, I say, hey, and then I'll run the conversation, and then I'll say, right, now speak to Grace. And then they get that confidence from me talking, showing them how to speak to a customer, and also not to be the other side of the market stall. There's been a few times where they've been the other side, and I said, customers won't buy from you. They'll go around you and they'll go to the next stall. So it's just about guiding them. And, I know what customers want. I've seen it, and it's about, guiding them and showing them.
Yeah, that's so great. I love the exposure that they get. I know when I started my business, we started at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival, and I had no idea what I was doing, but really, the more you do it, the more practice you get, you know how to start that conversation and get people engaged and talking to you. And that's half the thing, isn't it? People won't buy from you until they know you, like you, and trust you.
Absolutely. Yes. And I've said that to them. They will buy if they like you. So just having a conversation with you, even if they don't really necessarily have thought that they wanted to buy that product, they will suddenly buy it because they like you as a person.
Yeah. Amazing. So starting these businesses it's the quintessential of being self-reliant, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely about that. I said, you don't want to work for anybody else. You literally, starting these businesses gives you so much freedom to do whatever you want, to travel. I've traveled in my caravan for 5 months with the children just by having that flexibility. I said, don't work for anybody else. No matter what you do, be self-reliant on yourself. I said, because you work for somebody else, you're basically giving your dreams away to somebody else for a paycheck.
Yeah.
And so it was also inspiring for the parents because they were in all of the classes, and it was just interesting because they say, I didn't know that before, or I didn't know we could do that. My very first class, I started with writing memes. I said, I want you to feel valued. I want you to feel confident. And so I designed all these memes. I showed them all the memes that I have around my house, scattered in my office. Never give up, no matter what happens. Just about when you're about to give up, that's when your best ideas happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, the parents got that as well. And so it's nice to see the parents helping alongside that. And the business is growing because the parents are really dedicated to helping their children.
So great. I've just launched Yana's Study Champs Academy, and the kids were in on Zoom. They do a lesson with Yana, who's from WA. She's one of our educators at My Self-Reliance. And today in their writing lesson, they were coming up with business names and business ideas, and getting them thinking about what would you call it, and what would it do, and who would it serve, and
Yes. And the biggest thing is teaching them financial literacy, because the problem is in schools, it's not taught. These children have no idea about finances. So it's about playing games. There's an amazing game called Cash Flow for Kids. If anyone can get a copy of that game, I play it with my 6-year-old. He wins it virtually every single day because he's so acute now, and he knows what the good investments are to buy and the ones to ignore. And teaching them through games is vital. If you can teach your children financial literacy from a young age, they're halfway there.
That's so on point. I love that. So when you hook them up, how does that work, that mentoring process? What do you do?
So basically, I find business owners that have the time, they've got experience with starting from scratch, and I side them up with, I say, right, we've got Gracelets, you're in marketing and advertising, you're going to be a great person for Gracelets. And then they talk to them and they mentor them. They can meet them once a month, once a quarter, and yeah, giving them guidance on how to grow their business, because a lot of children, I've had children that have started their own business, and I'll have a parent that says, my child started their own business. And I'm like, great. Have they written a business plan? No. Okay, well, they have no direction. They have no idea where they're going. So the first thing they need to do, and I think that's the important part, is telling the parents there actually needs to be a process. I can't just give you a mentor, but you have no idea what you're doing. So by writing this business plan, I can then team you up with someone in business. And then it also shows them the dedication of that child. Wow, this child is actually really serious. And the setup of their stores as well. I say, if you're just going to put a tablecloth on and your products are not professional, then you're not ready for markets and you're not ready for mentoring. And yeah, the children that I put with these mentors are ready. They've gone through the program. They're 100% dedicated. And then these business owners are more than happy to help these children. And it also helps their profile as well. You know, they say that they're mentoring a child, a 10, 6. I mean, my youngest is 6 that's being mentored, and the eldest is 12.
Wow, that's extraordinary. Do you know, we don't have any photos, do we, of your tables? I'd love to, what I might do is pop some in a bit later.
Yeah. They're all on Facebook. Under Kidpreneur, there is a lot of photos of all the kids' market stalls, and they're really, really professionals. I'm actually working with organic food markets in Hornsby. They have markets every Thursday, and I've just brought them in with the Twilight markets, and they're very, very interested with the kids' markets.
They just look sensational.
They do.
Just really drawn to them just because they look amazing.
Yes.
And you know, there's no what's the saying? There's no skin on your back. What is it? I can't think of the saying. Like, you don't sleep, Claire, because we were talking earlier about what else you really lead from the front with what you do.
Yes.
Being president of the Chamber of Commerce, you've really kickstarted some things in Hornsby. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically I was the events coordinator for the Hornsby Chamber of Commerce, and then I recently stepped into the presidency role. I really saw that where the Hornsby Chamber of Commerce was not where I really wanted it to be. And the former president could see that he was taking a different direction. And then as part of that, I took over the Hornsby 2077 After Dark program, which is to bring it's a district, it's a state government program where you receive a grant and to grow that area. And the person that was in that role just wasn't taking it to where it was going. And so I took that over on the 1st of May. And through that, made so many connections with CEOs, all the pubs and clubs, and running events with them. And it's given great exposure for these children as well with the contacts. Now people are contacting me. They want to see what I'm up to. I've had to reduce my, when you protect your Facebook profile, because I've had people in LinkedIn going, who is this? I really need to find out who this is. And I'm like, give me a call. I'd rather that than someone having a look on my profile and what I'm doing. But it's very, very exciting. The programs that I'm working on is basically bringing Hornsby back to life, because Hornsby is pretty dead. It's pretty boring. But utilizing my events experience, because I used to own a restaurant which sit 350 people. And that's where I got the most of my learning and experience, because I made decisions that were not great. I made decisions where my chef walked out and said, I don't like the direction that you're going with. They were the times where I really, really learned. And that's what gives me the experience to speak to these children and go, you're not always going to, you're not always going to make the right decisions, but as long as you learn from those decisions. And the decisions that I'm making now, using that experience of owning a restaurant, running a restaurant, are really coming true now, because the decisions that I'm making are really good decisions, because I've got that behind me and I've got that experience. So I'm bringing, I've got a Magpies. I'm bringing Hornsby to Vivid. I'm calling it Hornsby's Vivid. And then I'm bringing night markets back to Hornsby. They haven't happened in 20 years. 2004 was the last time they had these night markets. And the biggest fight has been council. And so I basically sent them long-worded emails. The community wants night markets. The community wants to feel engaged. I could go to any of these big pubs and clubs and they'll hold these events, but I don't think that's the right way. I want to hold it in Hornsby Park. You are the barrier. This is what I want. And then they gave me this big, well, you need to fill in waste management, risk management forms. I needed to give them templates, so many things. I haven't even been to Hornsby Park for a long time, but they wanted to know where everything was going to be layered. So I'm putting a movie screen in the park. There's going to be a children's movie followed by an adult's movie. There's going to be a snow machine, fake snow. There's going to be a photo booth. There's going to be a lady on roller skates that's got a hoop and she's got limp balls that she's handing out to the children. There's going to be a popcorn machine. It's going to be lights everywhere. And there's going to be face painting. And so this event, I sold it to council, and on Monday morning, they said, everyone in council loves your idea. It's been approved. So that's happening on the 29th of June. So there's 3 major projects that I've pushed through because the first year ends on at the end of June 2024. And then if successful, I'll be given another grant to lead it through for the next year until 2025.
Oh my gosh. And you've only been in the seat for 23 days.
Yeah, literally.
Right. You're hired. We want you on our team, Claire. Just extraordinary. And getting anything through council that quickly, you must have dot every I and crossed every T for them to have said yes that quickly.
Yes. And I literally, on Saturday, I almost gave up because I was doing the human body skeletons for my science classes, which was on Tuesday. I run 4 sessions a term. And I just thought, I can't do this. I've got to think of a craft. I've got to do this science. I'm dedicated to science, but I've also got to do this. And then I just thought, no, you know what? Even if I don't get any sleep, it doesn't actually matter. I go to bed about midnight. I'm waking up at 3 o'clock to send emails. I have ideas that just come to me. And so sleep is overrated, at least till the end of June. And then I came up with this amazing craft. We did skeletons on mugs. I've got a sizer machine. So they all designed, 40 children had all these skeletons on mugs. They all said, what an amazing class. The good thing is that they don't know my ideas and how I want it to be. They think it's amazing. So I was able to get both things done. So that was, I guess before, you're always thinking, how much can you get done? But when you've taken on a massive project like this, I think, wow, what I was doing before, actually, I wasn't working on all 4 cylinders. So now I'm literally working to full capacity. There's like, I can't do anything more right now. I've got Jackie that's helping me with markets, with booking in market stores, because I get message requests. I probably get about 20 message requests a day of children wanting to run market stalls, of when am I going to put more classes on for Kidpreneur. I've got wait lists leading up to term 3 and term 4. But obviously I can't put anyone else on those because I've got to find someone that has that experience. And I really want to. And someone said, well, unless you run it, I'm not coming. And so it's really hard because, you know, I'm trying to homeschool my children as well, which is difficult with everything going on. And then I also run art classes, which I've had to stop for term 2 because I was running 2 art classes on a Friday and teaching children all the famous artists out there and how to paint like them.
Well, I might have somebody for you who could take on that part of Kidpreneur training.
Excellent. Because it definitely needs that now to get the program out. I've even had people in
Queensland, doesn't it? Because you're going to have a lot of demand for it, and people are ready.
It needs to go online now. Even my clients, because I have a wait list of about 40 children, and I've got 40 children in the class. It needs to move online because people in different states are saying, well, we want to see these classes, but the thing is time. And I'm not technological. That's the one downfall of mine, is putting these things on YouTube. I'm not great at content. And so it's just about learning and finding that time to put it online. Because
if anyone's watching this and is, would like to get in contact with Claire.
Yes, I would love to hear from you.
100%, because this is a really Shark Tank moment, isn't it? Where this could really go. So I just, you're my soul sister. I just love everything that you're doing, and where you're taking kids. Because we used to say back in my day when we were growing up, these are the rising generation. You're going to be the leaders of the future. But these days, we're not waiting for the future. The kids are leaders now. It's really, they've got it. You just have to give them the access and the skill and a bit of that guidance.
Yes.
That mentoring. So they've got rails, and they've just got it in spades.
And the thing is that school doesn't teach that. School doesn't teach children how to run their own businesses because they don't want people to run their own businesses. They don't want that next generation. And I really saw that niche. I went, these are children that have amazing ideas, and who knows where they're going to lead. And it's just really great when they come up and say, thank you, Claire, I really appreciate it. And I said, but it's you. You've done this. It's all inside of all of you. I said, I've just brought that to, the forefront. And they're just so excited. And when I see that they're so excited by their ideas and how far they've come, that to me is so rewarding. And I don't take a profit from this. This is a not-for-profit. Solely started it because I wanted to help my son. And I thought if he had children around him that were starting their own businesses, then it would be great. It would be a win-win for everyone. And now, he's got all of these children that he can talk to, and you can develop it further, and so I've taken it further as the children are pushing and going, right, what's next? What's next? And, the world is their oyster.
Amazing. Those kids will never be the same again.
No.
So go to Facebook, Kidpreneur. You can find Claire and her Facebook page there, and the kids in their markets, and there's some gorgeous photos there. Do we have any questions in the room? Does anyone want to throw a question out to Claire, or want to get behind what she's doing?
So Claire, if people wanted to have the kids in the classes, or even take you up, for the people that are in the state for the online learning, how could they find you? Is it via the Facebook? What's your preference?
Just send me a message via Messenger. So you go to Facebook and then you'll see me, Claire Rampling, and then send me a message. And then I basically keep everyone's details until a class becomes available. And if there's a wait list, I just let them know that as soon as a class becomes available, I will send them a message.
Lovely.
And to, like Kelly was saying earlier, you obviously are flat out with all the things that you already do. What is it you're looking for that you could expand it? Because, you're saying at the same time, I'm limited in classes, but I have a big waiting list. So there's obviously big interest from families and children. What are you looking for, you know, to help you, or that you could, you know, start having more classes? What is it that you're looking for?
For someone else to come on board that has had a successful business and that's good with children and can teach them the program in a way that the children will understand. I have a teaching background, and to motivate those children. If they have those qualities, then they can start running classes. It literally has come down to a time constraint. I have all of these children that want to be taught. I just don't have anyone else at the moment to be able to take on those children.
Mm. And you were saying, sorry, Kelly, you go.
Yeah, well, there's I've got some connections, and also with what Jana's doing, we might be able to look at what we can do there.
Excellent. They've got all the programs. I've written all the programs for the first 8 weeks. And so it's basically just copying those and getting that out. And it always has a craft element. So they designed money boxes, for example, and I taught them how to save. I taught them that it's not about going, great, I made $50 at the markets, I've got to go out and spend that $50. It's about saying, right, okay, I'm going to spend $10, I'm going to save $30, and I'm going to reinvest $10. And it's about teaching them that mindset that just because you have the money, you don't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. You want to be able to save that money, reinvest that money in other things, but spend a really small portion. And then I'm also teaching them, as they're growing bigger, to donate to a charity, because I always think that whatever you do, there should be a charity element to there as well. So I support a lot of charities, the Dish in St John's, which helps those that are really struggling at the moment. And through the Chamber of Commerce initiative as well, I really want to help those not-for-profits. There's a domestic violence shelter in Mount Ku-ring-gai. All of these I really want to help with fundraising and putting them on the map. So giving them that support and making that awareness within the community. People are often aware of it, but they don't support it. I'm the sort of person that I've gone out to Parramatta on Christmas Day and I've handed out dinners to those that can't afford it, the homeless. And it's really about making the children as well compassionate and understanding you could make a lot of money, but it doesn't actually matter the money. It matters what you do with it. And it's about making that change. So I'm also teaching them to basically be philanthropists and to give back. So my idea and what I really want to do is I'm working, the Vice President of the Hornsby Chamber of Commerce is actually, he designs granny flats and tiny homes. And my idea is that, you know, all these families with these children that are sick at Westmead Children's Hospital, I want to work with him to build tiny homes on a block of land where children, you know, Ronald McDonald houses, there's not enough of them basically. When you've got a sick children in the hospital, there's nowhere for them to stay. And there's children that are, you know, being separated from their parents because they can't afford things like that. And so I'm basically telling the children that to think of a charity or something that's really close to their heart, that when they have become successful, and even on the journey, I said, even now, you can support charities, you can support the homeless. And yeah, basically teaching them that as well, because I think setting those foundations is important. It's great to make $1 million, but there's no point having $1 million if you haven't done anything to help somebody else along the way as well.
100%.
And when are you starting the adult classes? Because I'm pretty sure all the adults that are sitting into this and listening to you going like, I need to learn a thing or two.
I literally had that with the parents. The parents, they never dropped and went. They were just taking notes. They were sitting there. And now some of the dads have actually started their own businesses as well, just from the mums talking to them. It's actually quite funny. And I've had a few saying, I'm so motivated to do this. Because I basically give them that confidence as well. Just go out and do it. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Okay, well, try something else. And that's what I've done all my life. I've just taken risks and I've just gone, do you know what, if this doesn't work, what does it matter? You know what, it's only money. At the end of the day, it is only money. Can't take it with you as well. So you might as well trial your ideas rather than being stuck working for somebody else. I mean, I've worked in some jobs where I was an accountant in the UK. It was the most boring, soul-destroying part of my life where I did it because the money was amazing. I was earning amazing money. But what's the point in earning amazing money if you're selling your soul every day to be there?
Yeah. And you know what? It's actually a millionaire's money mindset to give to charity and to be putting something back into, you know, life, into and feeding yourself.
Yes. And it's about giving the children direction as well. So it's not just about making money, but it's about giving them a purpose. I'm doing this to fund something else, which is helping other people. And I'm very much a philanthropist at heart. I love helping people. You know, if I see a homeless person on the street, I'm there. I'm like, hey, what can I do for you? I'm not going to give you money, but do you need food? Do you need shoes? What do you need? I'll help you. And so, yeah, I do that all the time. And that's just the compassionate part. And it's about teaching that to the children, because I think that's really, really important. And it's good to teach them at young, not when they're older, 18, 19, they've got all their values. It's really good to teach that compassion now.
Yeah, lovely. That's a huge legacy that you're leaving.
Yeah.
Not with your kids, but with the local community and with hospitals and, everything that you're creating. So,
Okay. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Children's Hospital, I've done lots of drive-throughs where I've donated things that people have donated, and then I go and do a drive-through and then I drop it at the hospital.
Yeah, wow, beautiful.
So.
Well, we need to really stay in touch, because we have our festival coming up in October, and we love your kids and all those that couldn't attend the expo this year. We'll be going over the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so then
Amazing.
that scope as well. So and all the ones that are learning between here and there to developing
absolutely, they can get in for that. That's great. And I had a great experience. I loved the festival. It was so really good. There's actually someone from the Chamber of Commerce, Tara, who ran a class and did a speech, and she was really, really good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Lovely. Well, we wanted to see more photos and things coming through. So if anyone has any photos of the store holders at the expo, we'd love to see more of those. And
I'll send them through to you as well. I've got them online. I'll start sending them through to you so you have those.
That'll be marvelous. Beautiful. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight, Claire. That's been so exciting. Hearing what you're up to, and we'll have to do an update in another couple of months too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I respond to everyone that sends me a message. It might not be straight away, but everyone does get a response. I don't ignore anyone that sends me a message, and I just let them know where I'm at. If I can't facilitate them right now, I will be in touch at some point.
And just check whether you get a message from Claire what the timestamp is. It could be 2 a.m.
Yes. It really is. 3:30 seems to be the time I'm waking up at the moment. 3:30. That's when I send all my emails out, and people come back to me and say, "Were you awake at 3 a.m.?" And I'm like, "Of course." Isn't that when everyone sends emails?
That's what they
Could
say.
I just jump in for a second? We do have a young gentleman with us. So, HJ, is there anything? I think you've got Claire with you. Do you mind, Claire? HJ, have you got any questions? Because you're not obviously close by and you came into this meeting. Is there anything your mum maybe want to bring up? Sorry, I put you two on the spot then.
No, all right.
Well, I have been actually thinking about starting a business down where we're going to be moving in a bit.
Excellent.
I want to I started with a tiny little club with my friends, and then I got the idea of having a little cake business, and then I added that with my club.
Amazing. Have you written a business plan yet for your business? Basically, you can just put down ideas for what you want and where you want to go.
We actually just got some worksheets, gotten me started, and made some ideas, and started just on a little like website, and didn't publish it, and basically we just had ideas and stuff.
Brilliant. If you send me your email address, I will, or if Kelly forwards that on to me, I'll send you the template that I have for the business and marketing plan. So your business plan is like a roadmap for where you want to go. So where you are now, where you want your business to go, and where you see your business going forward. So I'll send that through to you, and then you can start working on your ideas, and your business plan can change. Don't think that when you've written it once that's it. I really say you review that business plan, and if it changes or your idea changes direction, to write it again. Write it as many times until you're happy with it.
Thank you.
But that's great. How old are you?
8, turning 9. in July.
I think that's a perfect age to start a business. Are you homeschooled or do you go to school?
Homeschool.
You're homeschooled. Okay, that's the best way. So you've got a lot of time to learn about how to run a business. That's amazing. And if you can play Cash Flow for Kids, it's a Robert Kiyosaki game. Have a look online. It's not the cheapest game, but it's a really, really good game. And I can give you some links to some other games as well. There's also a business game. It's called The Business Game, and it's about ships and barges. And there's an Australian game that's really, really good, and it's called Squatter. And it's about owning sheep stations and selling your sheep. But they really set you up for the mindset of buying and selling and making good decisions.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's lovely to talk to you. Do you have any more questions for me?
No, not really.
No? Okay. Well, I'll send you my email address. So you'll have that when I send you the links to those. If you have any questions going forward, please feel free to send them to me.
Will do. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks.
How beautifully articulate you are, HJ. That's absolutely amazing. 8 going on 9.
I love that.
Do you want to put your email address in the chat there, Claire?
When you say that, you make it sound so easy. Remember, I'm not psychological. How do I do that?
If you speak it out, then someone will type it in.
Okay, so it's Claire, which is CLAIRE .Rampling, which is RAM for mother, PLING @gmail.com.
Kelly, and if you're doing it, would you mind, Claire, just letting us know the games again? You were a bit quick then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. I can say, so I'll put them in there, but it's called Squatter, Cash Flow for Kids, and it's called The Business Game. It's a Waddingtons. It's a game from London, but it's absolutely amazing, and it's about ships and barges. I also teach children how to play these games because some of them are really complicated, and some of them say from 10 plus. None of these games are complicated once the children understand how to play them.
That's so good. The games are amazing. We have Cash Flow for Kids.
Oh, perfect.
It's fantastic.
And there's also for adults. There's a Cash Flow for adults, and there's also a game called Leverage, and they're amazing for getting adults to think within that financial literacy as well. They're a lot harder, but those games are really amazing. They're not cheap, but they're really, really, I highly recommend them.
Yeah, it'll earn you money and save you money in the long run.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much again, Claire, for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's been absolutely wonderful. And to everyone, we won't have a call on next Tuesday, but we'll be back the first Tuesday in June. So amazing. And we'll publish this video as soon as possible so that everyone can get this information. And thanks everyone for joining us in the room tonight, especially HJ all the way from Darwin. So good to have you here.
Thank you. So good to see AJ as well. Was it AJ? Sorry, MJ?
Well, HJ or just Henry?
HJ or Henry. Okay. Thanks, Henry.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Thanks, Claire. Good night.
No worries. Thank you.
Thanks,
Good night.
Claire.
Thank you. Bye.
I'm Kelly Wilkins from My Self-Reliance. Welcome to the My Self-Reliance Expo 2024. We are so excited for you to come and experience our speakers, workshops and store holders. There is so much in store for you today.
It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. It's going to brighten up any room, right? Absolutely stunning. Going once, going twice. Sold. $15 right now. Simon's winning. Sold. Well bought, man. Well bought.
If you like what you've seen here, come to our My Self-Reliance Festival. Save the date, 18th to the 20th of October. We'll see you here.